Hi everyone, good evening. How are you doing all? I hope you all are doing good. So today's session is the last session of this workshop on the referencing and the systematic review writing. And to take this session, we have with us Dr. Pooja Devadiga. She is PhD in gastroenterology from KMC Manipal. And she has the vast experience on paper writing and systematic review writing and medical writing. So as always, I say, guys, please ask as many as questions you can ask for the clarifications. And she will be also taking the referencing tools, like how to use those referencing tools. And, she will be telling how to do the referencing for the big papers where there are many references, more than 100, more than 50 references. So she will be talking about that also. Okay, so without a delay, because we have another webinar at 7:30, guys. So that's okay. I mean, you guys carry on, no problem. But we have another webinar at 7:30, so we'll not delay. So over to you, Dr. Pooja. Thank you very much for joining, and I welcome you and welcome everyone here. Please, you can start, Dr. Pooja. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for the brief introduction. I will start with the session.
Yes, Pooja, please. Thank you very much.
Okay. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Pooja, it is visible. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I welcome you all. So in this session, you're going to study about the systematic review. Okay, so at the end of the session, you will understand the concept of systematic review, why it is conducted and how it is carried out. Okay, so basically systematic review is you can consider it is a topmost kind of the research work that is coming out. So it is most important and it is a most top rated, you can consider it as that way. Okay, so you will in the session you will see what it is and why it is so important in the field of clinical research or any kind of research. Okay, systematic review is very important and how it is carried out. So the learning objective, what it is, and you will see a difference between systematic review and traditional review and why it is very important and the steps. Okay, you can see the pictorial representation here. So you can see this is a Cochrane representations. Okay, the Cochrane is one of the publishers of systematic reviews. Okay, so what as an author, you or me, what we have to do when if I'm aspiring to write a systematic review, what should I do? Okay, so basically see the one whole hour I'm just talking about this pictorial representation here. So what is happening is what I'm gonna teach in this whole session. So in a simplified way, I can say you have to basically have the question. So whatever you want to prove or whatever you want to find, and then you have to frame a protocol based on that questions. Okay, so that questions may be varied based on the interest of your research. Okay, you might be from the pharmacy field, you might be from the biotechnology field, you might be from the molecular field, or from the pure clinical research. Okay, so if anything it is there, so what is your area and what is your question? So all these things will go into the funnel what you are seeing here, and it comes in a systematic way. Okay, that is nothing but the systematic review. So why it is very important? Okay, so the healthcare decisions should be informed by the best available research evidence. So what happens, the treatment of the patients, you can't just say, okay, this drug is good for a patient, okay, give this drug. Okay, why should I give this drug? okay, it went through several clinical trials, preclinical trials, and it is approved. But still, what is happening in the real life sector, whether it is going well, whether it is happening well, okay, that time what happens, okay, a drug that might it have been approved by FDA, right? But in India, whether it works fine, we doesn't know. But what, who will know? Some research institute might be doing the study on this drug. Maybe they are seeing the outcome in a small portion on small cohort of populations. So what happened? But they will give a particular result. But can we say, okay, based on this result, it is not working here in this place? Can we say like that? No. That time, what happens, the systematic review plays it is very important, because systematic review takes all these studies. It means it basically compiles all the studies, what our question is, based on our question, and then it will give the results, okay, based on the question, okay, so that it is very easy to make a great decision in the healthcare system, okay, in the healthcare sector. Okay, so many guidelines, okay, rely on the previously published systematic review. It need not be for you know the drugs or anything like that. It can be for the new biomarkers. So now if you take several cutoffs, okay, this cutoff for for example, BP. Okay, this is a cutoff for this BP to consider he has a high blood pressure. But why? It can change, right? So you can see the new guidelines have told this things. How these guidelines, why they have coming it, the guidelines is updated. How it is updated? Based on the various systematic reviews, okay. So this is what it is. So this is the importance of the systematic review. Practice guideline quality is dependent on the rigorous systematic review methods and high quality primary studies, like primary studies, RCTs, systematic reviews, evidence-based practice, and clinical practice guidelines. Okay. I hope you're clear with this, the importance of the systematic review, right? Okay. Known and unknown areas of the study. So systematic review can show which treatment and prevention method, like I mentioned previously, have been proven to work, and what remains unknown. So when you start doing the research, we always tell, write the gaps. What is the gaps? Means what is lacking. So what is remaining to know? That is the gaps, right? Systematic reviews are important for pointing the areas where more research is needed. Okay. So that is the unknown fact. Systematic reviews are the basis for what is often called as evidence-based medicine or healthcare. So there will be some evidence, because we are collecting the evidence from the multiple study, and we are analyzing those studies. It is a systematic review of the many reviews, okay, of or many studies. So you can see, if I have to define a systematic review, it goes like, it is a transparent procedure. Okay, it should be a transparent procedure. You can't just say, I did a systematic review of 5 studies. No, where is the 5 studies? You should show the 5 studies, what you have taken, and you have to tell them why you have taken 5 studies, from where you have taken 5 studies. So it should be very transparent procedure to find, evaluate, and synthesize the result of independent studies. Okay. Procedures are explicitly defined in advance to assure the process is transparent. Okay. The procedure should be defined in advance, means you should tell what is the inclusion, what is the exclusion. So it should tell, your procedure should be ready, what I'm going to do, what kind of studies I'm going to take, what is the area of my interest, what drug I am going to see in this study, or what is a biomarker I'm going to analyze. Okay, or it's anything, what specific it is, it should be defined in advance. This process is designed to minimize bias. Okay, so this is that you will understand when I compare narrative as well as systematic review. I hope you're clear with this. So a systematic, this is a fourth thing you have to remember. A systematic review must have, it should have a clear inclusion and exclusion criteria. it is very mandatory to have inclusion and exclusion criteria. Explicit search strategies. Okay, what is your search strategies? That is very important. Systemic coding and analysis. Okay, meta analysis if possible. Okay, not every time you can do meta analysis, but meta analysis is very crucial in systematic review. So let's see the difference between the traditional and systematic review. Okay, so what is traditional review? So you can hear people say narrative reviews or scoping reviews, so some kind of reviews or just reviews like that. Okay, so it is usually informal, unsystematic, and subjective methods to collect, interpret, and summarize informations. Okay, the searching, quality appraisal, and data synthesis are often not documented. Since scientific methods are not routinely used, traditional review carries
Ma'am, you're not audible.
greater risk step. Each point mentioned here, I'll explain you. So it is very informal and unsystematic. So what it is, it is not formally designed. The concepts are not formally designed. The areas what you're focusing are not, it is designed properly. Or how you are going to collect the studies for that is not designed. How you are going to interpret, nothing is designed. You just write. Okay. For example, I feel it is better to explain with example. I hope it will help, it will stay in your mind forever. So if you have to write a narrative review on a particular, okay, for example, novel drugs in the treatment of breast cancer. Okay, so it's a narrative review. So novel drugs in the treatment of breast cancer. So first, what you will do, if at all, okay. So now I write lot of articles. If at all, somebody comes and approaches me to write a narrative review on novel drugs in uh, breast cancer. So basically, I will explain about breast cancer, right? I will write what are the drugs that are present currently, what they are giving, maybe chemotherapeutic agents, any kinds of nuclear medicines if at all present. So all the kind of drugs what are presently they are giving for the breast cancer. I will mention all the treatment approaches first. I'll mention, okay, surgery is a treatment approach, radiation, all that, and then I will mention about the drugs what are present currently. Then I will say novel, we are mainly focusing on the novel. Then I will see some novel approaches. Okay, then I will mention some of the um, immunomodulatory drugs which can variate the immune system and act like a help in the remission of breast cancer. Or I will talk about small molecular drugs. Or I will act on the drugs that are affecting the pathways, all these cancers and all. We should basically target the pathways. So I will tell new drugs that are helping in the blockage of this pathway, which will help which will terminate this kind of cancer. All these things we are going to speak about the novel. So this is the novel thing, this is the novel approach, this is a novel approach. You can, CRISPR, Cas, genes, all these things. So all new things. What are the targets? We will see the genomic studies, then we'll see the target and the newly published drugs. I'm just gonna write. Okay. No systematic things will be there, no subjective will be there, and I'm just gonna write, and I will tell along with my paper. I'm gonna tell this studies have conducted by this paper. This study happened in the USA, this study happened in this particular institute, this particular thing is happened in there, hereby, that's it. So I just write. Okay, so that is very traditional method. Okay, in systematic, what we have to do, you have to write, you can't just write novel drugs, you have to write one particular drug. Okay, any kind of drug that you're doing. Okay, so for example, phytochemicals, so anything extracted from plants. Okay, phytochemicals in the treatment. So we will write maybe turmeric. So specifically turmeric if you read in the cancer. In which kind of cancers? Very specific. So now what you have to do searching when you do, you have to see which cancer, what is the treatment, and where you are searching. Understood? I hope I am very clear with this. Any doubt? Okay, I hope I'm clear. Here we have to specific about what you are searching, where you're searching, what is the quality, what is the thing you're searching, right? So in the narrative review, there will be information overload. You just take whatever you want based on the bias. See, there will be big bias. Why didn't you take that study which happened there? Why did you take this study? So he doesn't know because there is a bias. It's according to me, which I feel good, I just take, right? So there will be bias. So then what you can see at the end, you can't say, okay, this drug is good. No, you can't say what is the where is the information, or you can't just assume. You should show it very statistically, right? So if I have to broadly compare traditional review and systematic review, traditional will be subjective, broad question. See, I hope your the broad question thing, makes sense right now. Methods are unclear. You don't know what methods you're, learning. In systematic review, objectives, there will be proper objectives. The questions will be narrow. The methods are clearly defined. The studies are appraised. Okay, you will understand what I'm going to say about the systematic review. I hope you're clear with the traditional review right now. Right? Guys, I need some interaction.
Guys, participate, interact a bit.
Okay, well. Okay, so you can see the start. I told you, systematic review is at the top, right? Systematic review and meta-analysis at the top. It is one of the very important, or you can see many guidelines have come from this. So when I meant that, this is what I meant, okay? You can see here the pyramid, right? So you can see background information, which is at the bottom. You can see case reports. If I say a clinician, is working on one particular new case, or he's trying a specific drug, and he's writing a case report, you can see where it is. It is at the below. Case series, cohort studies, cohort study, observational studies. There are a lot of observational studies are happening. You can see where it is. RCTs, many drugs are coming up. They are doing RCTs in many hospitals. You can see still it is below the systematic review, right? Then you understand the greatness of the systematic review in the research. Okay, it is it is very at the top. It is at the top, right? So this is what, because it is a critical appraisal. Okay, it gives evidence. Whatever if I'm saying, if the result comes out of the systematic review, it means it is right. I'm not assuming something, or I'm not writing my own assumption. No, I have did this review systematically. I took the data systematically. I defined them systematically. I searched them systematically. Okay, and then I analyzed it, and then I got the result. So that is how important systematic review is. Okay. So let's see the steps, okay, how to carry out a systematic review. Okay, so basically first you have to develop a focused research question. Okay, so it might be anything, like I mentioned you, it is your interest. Okay, if your research background. So it might be any kind of drugs, it might be the biomarker based study, or it might be based on some of the tools, okay, anything like that. So once your question is defined, okay, like I mentioned, so research question should be clearly defined. Focused systematic review begins here. Okay, so research question. So research questions, what happens? So once you define a research question, you should also define an inclusion and exclusion criteria there. Okay, what is the inclusion? what is the exclusion? So that is very important. Uh, then searching the literature. Okay. So searching the literature, what are the uh, search engines you're taking? Are you taking PubMed? Are you taking Embase? So you will study all this in the coming slides. So selecting the study, extracting the data, analyzing and presenting the results. So final criteria. So a research question should be in final criteria. Means what? Means it should be feasible. Your research question should be feasible. Means you should do that study. Some drugs you have come up, or some new biomarkers you have come up. You can't just do that. It should be feasible. There should be enough of studies for you to do a systematic review. If there is no study, then you can't do a systematic review. It should be feasible. It should be interesting. Okay. A drug which had come up and which is no longer, it is very effective, or it is of no interest right now in the medical sector, then what is the point of doing that thing, right? Because it should be, at the end of the day, it is all about what? Enhancing patient care, right? Patient management, patient care, patient diagnosis, right? To enhance that. So why, if it's not useful, then what is the point of doing it? It should be novel. Okay, anything you do, it should be novel, it should be ethical. Okay, it should be relevant. Okay, whatever studies you're doing, it should be relevant to uh, thing what you're doing. Okay, so usually they take a Pico frame. Okay. So this is a format for structuring the research question. Okay. That is a very famous, this format you can see. So Pico, it means P for patients, I for intervention, C for comparison, O for outcome. So this is the criteria. So when your question comes, you should see whether it is relevant to your whether framework. Okay. For example, see, if I have to uh, for example, in a use and mental health outcomes. So now I have to, so if this is my question, a simple way I'm saying, okay, social media use and the mental health outcomes. Okay. In adults. Okay. So your participants here are adults. So your age group, you have to define the age group, your population. So it should be more than 18. So usually adolescents. Okay. You should be more than 18 and you can compare till 25. You can't take beyond or below, right? So you want adult patients. So you have to define the participant. Next, intervention. So intervention is like here, it will be different. So here, the social media is your intervention, right? Means what is happening with the, it is influencing there. So your intervention might be social media, might be a different kind of intervention, maybe a different social platforms, various things. Okay, comparison with the mental health. What happened between the mental health? So you can compare, and outcome. What happened after this? Whether it is really effective or not. Okay, so this is what you can do, or you can see if at all, AI, artificial intelligence, in particular in the diagnosis of a brain tumor. Okay, so artificial intelligence in the diagnosis of brain tumor, or you can see a drug, metformin, in patients with diabetes. So patients, what kind of patients? You have to define. Intervention, what is a drug? Comparison, what happened before taking, what happened after taking, whether there was an improvement or not. Outcomes, what are the overall outcomes? Okay, or comparison between the two groups who were taking and who were not taking, or who were taking this drug or who were not taking that drug. Okay, So this is how, means your question has to define these things, okay? That is very crucial. So I hope you're cleared with the PICO format, okay? Any doubt here?
Ma'am, are there any other method than Pico? Because I was
Okay, see, basically, see, there is a finer method, okay? So they people as you accept that as well. And the Cochrane also, they have their method, but usually the followed means it's not about PICO, okay? It's about defining your research question. Means your question should have what kind of patient intervention, what is the intervention, or if at all the comparative groups, the case and control should be there, and the outcome. So defining the research question is very important, okay? So that is the importance. I hope I'm clear with you.
yes, ma'am.
Next, okay, defining inclusion and exclusion criteria. See, because what happens, see, because it is very systematic, so you will understand why the framework is important. In when I say in the later study, when I come about the searching the literature, you will understand why what exactly I was speaking and why the research question defining is important. So inclusion and exclusion criteria. So like I mentioned that time, the age group. So age group should be this much. You can't just take patients with a different age group. Or if I'm mentioning about a particular kind of cancer, breast cancer means, okay, in breast cancer also there are different types. Triple negative breast cancer, right? So, okay, I'm focusing only on the triple negative breast cancer, not any different kind of cancers, right? Or so it varies in that way, okay? So inclusion and exclusion is important. So see, like I mentioned, it should be defined in advance. So whenever you start with this systematic review, you write your research question, you write inclusion and exclusion, okay? Like I mentioned, the population intervention, comparison, and outcome. So the study types, okay? Which kind of study? This is also important. So if at all, usually intervention comes, okay? For example, you are studying the you are saying whether this particular vaccine is good. For example, COVID vaccine, okay? If you take Covaxin for COVID, okay? So then you have to take RCTs, randomized control trial. So if I say in my inclusion, so in the methodology, I will tell we are taking only RCTs. Then I can't take observational studies. Okay, you can't take observational study, or you can't take retrospective studies. You have to take only RCTs. Only then you can compare. You can't compare a RCT with the observational study. So they are very different. Okay, so taking the study type is also important. Searching the literature. See, I hope in the previous session they taught you how to do an advanced search, right? Right? PubMed
Yes, ma'am.
advanced search you people have done.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So you understood when you do a PubMed, search, you understood in one word, when you put the single terminology, how much studies have come, right? Correct? There are
Yes,
thousands
ma'am.
are coming because you're giving a particular keyword. So defining your question should be different. I mean, definite, okay? So that definite will minimize there, because systematic means if 1,000 study comes up in your search engine, what is systematic review is you're going through that 1,000. Understood? Okay, it will look as if I'm saying it is an impossible task, but this is what it is. Means, okay, uh, one particular kind of drug, chemotherapeutic agent, or for example, no, in a simple way, if I have to say, one particular drug in one particular disease, okay? So if I write this drug and this disease, the advanced search. So I will write these two terminology. You know how much studies is going to come up. Then think to the number of studies. You have to personally go and check. Okay, it is a tedious work. So defining your research question will make it very easier. You will understand, okay, this is a drug. So this is a study I don't know. Or else you have to literally go into the study and see whether what is the thing, right? And then the second step, now you understood the advanced search. I hope you know how to do the advanced search. So after that, what happens, right? You see the abstract. In that, what is a methodology? Methodology may they will write, right? This patients we are taking. Okay, my inclusion will not say this is a thing. Okay, this they have taken infants or neonate, correct? But no, my I want adults. Then okay, this is not the study. Understood what I'm saying? So basically, you have to see your abstract says something. Then you can just ignore that study and go to the next study. Okay, so defining is important. You can't just go to all that 56,000 articles. That is why defining research question is very, very, very important. You can just say the abstract. Okay, it is a retrospective study which was carried out in this hospital. Okay, retrospective study. No, my study interest is a randomized control trial. So I can't take up this study. Understood? I hope I'm clear with this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, okay. So like I mentioned, terminologies, databases are very important. Okay. Next, a recommended databases usually PubMed search, Embase, Cochrane. Okay, Cochrane will have the control trials. They also have systematic reviews with them. Okay, I hope you look the PubMed search and all have to do advanced search. So you have to do the advanced search. Then you have to put all those filters what you want according to your research questions. So supplementary databases, Scopus, Web of Science. So sometimes what that is also important, what you define. Okay. So my systematic review comprises of databases like PubMed and Embase. So this systematic review. So this is a methodological part what I'm speaking about. Okay. This systematic review consists of the extensive search of the databases, PubMed and Embase. What databases you're searching, you have to mention in your systematic review. Okay. So the specialized databases, okay, Pedro, Sinal plus search strategies, okay, like I mentioned, search strategies, advanced search strategies now. Supplementaries, okay, some journals, conference proceedings, you can take all of that. Okay, you can take research reports, you can take conference proceedings like I mentioned, some government reports, dissertation, the Shodh Ganga, you can take articles from there as well, organization website. So if at all it defines, it fulfills your research questions, you can take from that. Okay, Google Scholars as well. And if at all clinical trials, you can go to all these websites, clinicaltrials.gov, government, centralwatch.com. So all these are the websites you can go, you can search for your study. So they also will have same thing, like, PubMed, some keywords will be there, you have to mention. So if at all the the trials is going on, your studies will pop up based on the interest. Then you have to filter it based on the research question and your inclusion and exclusion. It is very important that you define in advance. Then you have to compile the results. Okay, so compiling means what are the studies. So among first search you might have got 56,000. So after your inclusion and exclusion, it might come up to 20,000, 21,000, and then you put your intervention. So this drug. So first you started with particular, okay, it started with the inflammatory bowel disease. Okay, this is the disease conditions. Then I thought, no, there are two types of inflammatory, Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. My focus is on Crohn's disease, so I will come to the Crohn's disease here. I hope what I'm saying makes sense, right? Or if at all I have to take chronic kidney disease. Okay, so in chronic kidney disease, I am just focusing on the stage 4 of the chronic kidney disease, right? Where this drug is acting on the stage 4. So stage 4 only I will take. So that time few articles will go, few only will remain of my interest, right? And what my drug is acting, again few numbers will come up. Duplicates is removed. Okay. Uh, this is mentioned. Next, I hope you're clear with how to develop a research question, inclusion and exclusion, searching the literature, select the studies. So once it is done, you have to select the studies. Okay, this study. Then you have to review the titles, abstract. Okay, this abstract. Then you will understand for a reason of inclusion and exclusion. I hope I told you already all these things. Next, assess the study quality. This is very important. Okay, so this is very important to assess the selected study for the risk of bias and study quality. Okay, so this can be done using the tools like, all these tools mentioned here. Robust, risk of bias in systematic reviews. You can just go online and just type tools for assessing the risk of bias in systematic review. Certain tools comes up, so it is basically questionnaire based. So once you define your question, you can answer this what kind of study. So you can just tick all of this. Okay, next, extracted data. Now for example, okay, okay, this particular study has 50 students. I mean 50, the population size is 50. So okay, like for example, course, okay, today's course only. So here, how many have attended? 34. Tomorrow, same. So yesterday there was a class, right? How much? 32. What is the interaction rate, right? So I will give based on the scores. So it is like that. The data is extracted, okay, based on the reports, on the basis various studies. Okay. Once the data is extracted, then what is automatically done? Analyzing these data. Okay, we have to see what is happening here, analyzing it, whether it is good, whether this participant have improved from yesterday to today, or what happened, what is the interaction rate. So analyzing it. Okay, in the drugs, whether the drugs is working properly or not, whether it can be considered. Okay, so this is what happens. Or this biomarkers, what is the cutoff of the biomarker? So like that. Okay, tables, figures, the Prisma generator. So Prisma flow chart generators. So this is what I mentioned in the previously. Okay, like I told, this much study will go, this much study will go. Means what? You have to report everything. Okay, like I mentioned, you can't just verbally say. There should be count. Okay, so record identified through database searching. So you will find thousands of articles. Okay, then it how much it went. Then duplicates will come because you are doing different websites, I mean databases, right? Search engines like PubMed. Also you will do Web of Science also. Some articles will be there in both, but when you do, you take both of them, no? So duplicates will go. Then you scream them. When you scream, okay, these articles will be excluded because it did not match your research question or did not match your exclusion. Then you read completely the article. Okay, then you when you started reading completely, you found out that your exclusion was people, for sometimes you define a study like a patient who has two or more comorbidities will be excluded, because what is the point of seeing, right, their outcome? Because it can be because the patient outcome might not be because of that particular disease. It might be because of the comorbidities they are having, right? See, sometimes what happens, a person gets a COVID. Okay, same age, same. Okay, oh, like a 55 years old, two people will be there, both will get a COVID. Okay, one person will have various comorbidities, like one person will have diabetes, hypertension, or some pulmonary diseases. See, pulmonary diseases, everything will be there, and the person is healthy enough. Now if I say, once the COVID infection has come up, the person with a lot of comorbidities have, he died during the hospital stay. Now, I can't say because of COVID he died, right? Yes, COVID is a reason, but along with that, he had a lot of comorbidities, right? So that time you can't just say it is because of COVID, right? There are other comorbidities because he had some of the other condition also, because of which he could not, his immune level was not great, or he was already sick. Correct? I hope I'm making sense for you all, right? So that is what I'm saying here. So when you read the article completely, you will understand something is not exactly the research question. So defining research question is very important. Okay. So finally, you will get, mostly 10, 15 studies. Okay, that sometimes in that certain we'll go for meta-analysis. Okay. Next, summary of the tables. Okay. In the tables, you have to say what are the sample sizes of the studies, what are the informations, like you can see here, outcomes, you can see the mortality in oral cancer, grade 3 complications. So you have to mention in this study this is a thing, in this study this, overall this is a concept. Okay, so the risk ratio, so when you start seeing studies of your interest, you will understand. Next, what is meta-analysis? Okay, it is an optional component of systematic review. Okay, for example, it is basically statistical analysis of individual studies. Okay, in a simple word, see there are 5 points here. So what is meta-analysis? It is a statistical analysis of individual studies. It increases the statistical power, improve the estimates, okay, of the effective size, and resolving uncertainty amid disagreement. Okay, it bring together the best available result. Okay, now I will take 3 studies here, A, B, C. Okay, so simply we can assume, okay, in the 3 studies, okay, it is all these 3 studies we can consider measuring the drugs on the impact of the BP. Okay, one particular drugs will be there, its impact on the, I'm sorry, its impact on blood pressure. Okay, blood pressure. Okay, so here study A, it showed that this drug, okay, it had a good impact, it was significantly helping in reducing systolic blood pressure, right? However, this B, it did not show that. Okay, the B was showing that it was reducing the BP, but then it was not very significant. Very significant is, p-value should be in a certain range, right? So it was not significant. However, this C, what it was doing, it was not showing any significance at all. It was not increasing, neither decreasing. It was just there the way it is. Okay, now you understood 3 studies are there. A drug that helping to reduce the systolic blood pressure. Now, so this is about the systematic review. I hope you understood in a simplified way. So you define the drug, the intervention here. So drug, whatever XYZ is the intervention. Your population is populations who are with systolic blood pressure above this, okay, mm. Okay, it depends on your study. Okay, intervention and the population comparison. So you have to say before taking what it was there, compare. Okay, compare the group, and then outcome, whether it is decreased, whether it is not decreased. Okay, right. So in A, it decreased significantly. In B, it did not. It did. Uh, in B, it did. Reduce, but then not significantly. But then C, it did not show any significance. So now, what is the role of the meta-analysis here? So statistical analysis, it gives the individual studies, okay, statistical analysis of the individual studies. So it will analyze the studies, okay, it will increase the statistical power. Like, so it will take all this and it will compile the data, and then it will tell whether it is really, important, whether this, drug is really important. So it will basically, first, the sample size will be there. Here, 30 patients, 40 patients. So first, it will form a grouped sample size. The sample size will be increased. So the effect sample size will be increased from the single study. And then they will do the analysis. So because of which it will improve the estimate of effect size. It will resolve the uncertainty amid the disagreement, because this person did not show any significance. This study did not show. But the compiled data might show some good result. It might be great or may not be, but it will show some result, right? So this is a forest plot that is, usually present. So you can see here the relative risk. So study result. So if it is good, if the drug is good, it will be present this way. Okay, if it's not, it will be coming that way. If it will be compared with drug and placebo. Okay, if this points is there, no, it will be usually mentioned in diamond shape or square shape. If it comes in this straight line, if all these points comes in the straight line, it means there is no significance. Okay, so if it's towards the left, it means there is effect of this drug. So this is a forest plot. Okay, this is the interpret and drawing the conclusion. So once you found the conclusion, okay, then you say, okay, this is the evidence produced. So this is the information given, this is the important outcome. Okay, including the adverse. Okay, you can say this is the adverse outcome. You have to take the data of adverse in outcomes as well. So quality of the evidence for each outcome. So update as necessary. So once what happens, I hope you're clear with the systematic review and meta-analysis part. So once you published a systematic review, so this is also important, very important thing, timeline. So when you do a systematic review and meta-analysis, you have to tell, I selected, like, we conducted the systematic review and meta-analysis from the time point of from 2017 to 2022. So then you have 2023. Okay. So then you have to tell it only studies from 2017 to 2023. You can't take studies from before 17. Okay. So time is important. So once you come, like your study is completed in 2023, right? And then you published your paper in 2024. So in the future, in the 2025, also you can update this study, or somebody else also can ask your permission and he can update study and he can continue the study, because there will be some other studies coming up during that time and he can add to your systematic review. Okay, so usually this so these are the basic tools. Okay, Prisma, Prospero. So this is one more important. So Prisma checklist. Okay, this is like 24 items. So based on your inclusion, exclusion, all this checklist will be there. So you have to take. And most important thing is Prospero. So when you get an idea, okay, let me do a systematic review on this topic because somebody nobody has done, because it should be novel. Okay, you can't do a systematic review where somebody else is doing. Okay, so but my systematic review, it will not happen in 1 day or 2 day, right? Systematic review is a process. It can take several months to do. That time you have to go to Prospero. Okay, Prospero is a website. You have to register your study there. You have to write your what is the title, what is your inclusion, what is my plan, everything. So you have to register. So this is mandatory. So in your methodology now, I hope you're cleared. Okay, so whenever if you read now, most of you are from the clinical medical and clinical background. So if at all, if you go back and read some systematic review and you see the Prospero registration number, I don't want you to feel like you never heard all these things. I want you to understand, okay, this is the thing what ma'am was talking about. Okay, so when you read a methodology of certain systematic review, that time you should understand, okay, these people have taken seven RCTs. You understood? They have taken only randomized control trial. So what is the intervention? Very important. So I hope you're clear with all this stuff. Okay, there are certain softwares for that helping with the systematic reviews, like softwares for systematic review, or you can just take the Excel sheet as well. Okay, once you're done the refining, you can put in your Excel sheet and then you can arrange or analyze. Okay, so basically your research question, your PICO. Okay, and what are the studies you have to take. Then you have to make your data. Okay, you have to take the whatever data, then you have to do the analysis. I hope you're clear. Any doubts, anybody? See, how can you say that for this systematic review we can do meta-analysis? See, that based depends upon the data. Okay, if you get a good data from the analysis, so you do a extraction, no data extraction. So if you get a good data, then you can do a meta-analysis.
Ma'am, initially, which research is good? Systemic review or traditional review?
Okay, when as a newbie, right? When you just start with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I prefer you go with a narrative review. You start with a narrative review and then go for a systematic.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
No, it is not compulsory to go for meta-analysis, but meta-analysis adds weight for your study. See, sometimes you do a
Ma'am,
yeah.
ma'am, so the difference between the basic difference between systematic and traditional review is that systematic is often backed by statistics, right?
It's not just backed by statistics. Okay, like I mentioned, it done systematically. See, when you search, when you traditional method, you just write a concept and you just go on writing, okay, this is a this, but here not like that. What study you took, okay, that should be gone, systematically through the database search or a search engine. This PubMed search I'm doing means you can't take from other website. Then you have to define. I took studies from 2017 to 2022. In narrative review, you can just write. You can take studies that happened in 1996. Okay. Here you have to mention this is a study, what is happening. Defining is very important. Going it systematically means each step is, proofread each time.
Yeah, guys, and she is perfectly right. So systematic review, why we are telling it systematic? Because everything is everything goes with the system. As she is telling, we have to create a team, entire team to write a systematic review who will do the literature search. There are two people who will be doing the literature search independently from different databases. Then we compile it, then we search it, then we go for filtering the research, and then based on that, there are two reviewers who will review the entire research independently, and based on that we will select the final studies what will be included into the systematic review, okay, review writing. And those studies will not be only just included, we will have the inclusion exclusion criteria form. We will have the inclusion exclusion criteria as we have in our original research. What kind of research we are including, what kind of research we are not including. Like as I told you yesterday, you have to include only control like control trials, or community trials, or sometimes if not sufficient studies or very good community cohort study, then you can involve. Otherwise you have to set the criteria, like we will take only randomized control trials. In that also, what kind of population, negative outcome, positive outcome, what type of population, what type of heart failure, I mean whatever is your target. Okay, what you have to set the inclusion exclusion criteria, you have to set the search engines, you have to set the keywords, you have to search, you have to set the search strategy. So everything should be in the system, in the methodology. Okay, that is important.
Yes, I
Yes, sir.
actually
Thank you.
important. You actually systematic review can't be conducted by one person. It is conducted in team. Okay, usually it is two individuals have to do separately. Okay, without a bias. Okay, and then it goes to the third reviewer. So once two people have done, then the third reviewer is he does a review. Okay, so it is very important. It is not done by a single person. It is done by different individuals. Okay, it is usually done in a team. Systematic review. Yes, Prospero registration it is compulsory. Uh, it is actually okay, because usually sometimes people do without Prospero registration, but then when it comes to publication, usually journal will ask. They will ask whether you did a registration.
And yes,
Yes.
and one more reason behind the Prospero is, you will be registered into the website of Prospero. And if you are doing this idea, if you are working on such idea, some idea right now, because the systematic reviews, meta-analysis takes a longer time, 6 months, 1 year, 8 months, 12 months, 15 months, so you will be registered with that title. So nobody else will take the title. If somebody else want to do the work on the same title, then if they are searching like for the title online, they will get that, like, oh, already somebody has already done that and they will publish it before you. So this is a kind of security copyright for you. Okay, I mean, if somebody sees only in that case. Okay, so it is a kind of, copyright, because the people who start writing, they search for the literature, they search for the the papers, so they will see your title in the Prospero website, that is open access for everyone. So they will not think of the same title and they will go with the changes. That is the actual meaning of Prospero registration. Okay.
I hope you're clear with all the things, all the doubts. We can continue with the session.
Yes, please go ahead, Dr. Pooja.
Okay.
Yeah, I think half an hour will be sufficient, right?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Pooja, please go ahead.
Well, so when I started with the systematic review, I also mentioned there about reference manager. Okay, I told you how to manage certain. There are certain applications there to manage certain studies, or if at all you have to consider a narrative review. So managing the reference is important. Okay, like now I told you, you took a RCTs. So then, if you took a RCTs, then you have to cite that article. Means you have to refer that articles in your article, right? Then there, what is most important is these kind of tools. Okay, that is reference management tool. So here basically you will study the software, the introduction. You will see how to download the the software, its extension, then have to create the Zotero library. Then you will see how to format it in Word along with the bibliography generation. So let's see what is a problem. Okay, why is this is important, why this tool is important, why are we studying this tool? Okay, because reference, I hope you know what is reference is. One second, I will just stop. Okay, my screen is visible, no, to everyone? Yes, correct. Everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well,
Yes,
so you
ma'am.
can, okay, you can see this word format. Okay, so this is one of the article. It is written on AML. Okay, acute myeloid leukemia. All right, and you know what is reference is. So once you write certain the narrative review, any kind of articles, then there is, you have to cite the article, right? So this is a reference part, correct? So this, now this is a document of, consider it as 8 to 9 pages. So it is very important, easy for me to write manually. Okay, I can take, okay, this particular sentence I took from this particular article and I cited it. You can see here. So okay, Savage et al, this is a person who have written, so I am citing this, and then I can manually write. But what happens when you start writing a big article or your thesis, or you're working with a lot of people, like I mentioned systematic review. So there will be two people separately, means they are working with a two different setup. Their search will be different, their articles will be different, right? Or you're collaborating, you're writing a collaborating with a different institution, and you're writing an article. Maybe it is narrative. So what, their reference should be same. You can't both people cite the same articles on the same sentence. So it is very, there are a lot of problems, like reference entering manually is very tedious process. It, it results in a messed up organization, citation style. Okay, So when you publish an article, each journal, no, they say this citation should be based on our journal. Okay, the style should be based on our journal. For example, okay, molecular sciences. So their citation style will be different. Okay, usually we will choose Vancouver, but in certain articles, a certain citation style will be there. Okay, Indian Journal of Gastroenterology. So they will have their own style. Cancer. So that particular journal will have their own style of citation. Nature style of then if they ask based on the journal, then what do you change it manually? It is very tedious process. So for that, this particular thing helpful. Okay, the system, the software. For example, see all the softwares, free softwares are Zotero and Mendeley. So there are some other softwares like EndNote, Reference Manager, RefWorks, ProSite. So those are subscription based. Okay. So basically, what is the importance of Zotero? Okay, so it will collect and manage the reference. It is a free tool. It will organize, it will create the bibliographic, okay, and also web pages and full text PDF. Okay, so in Zotero in action, so I want you all to go to your Chrome. Okay, type Zotero. Okay, you can do this simultaneously. By the time I'm saying, go to your Chrome, type for Zotero. Okay, so once you type for Zotero, you get this page. Okay, you can just download Zotero. Okay, Zotero 6 for Windows as well as install for Chrome. Okay, Zotero. Okay, I hope you are doing simultaneously, or you, if you can't do, if you don't have access, a good internet access, or if you're listening with your phone, you can just take this point. Okay, Zotero app, basic Zotero app. So this is how Zotero looks. This is a this is a symbol of Zotero. Okay, well, so like I mentioned, it helps in bibliographic creation, working in groups, as well as exporting the data. So once you open the Zotero, let's just go. Let's just go. Okay. Okay. So you can see here. So in the Chrome, if I press for Zotero, so this is Zotero. Okay. I hope you're clear. My screen is visible. You can just download. Okay. You can, since I already have Zotero, it is already present. If not, you can just download Zotero and install the Chrome connector. Okay. So when you do the Chrome connector, you can see here, it will come. You can just star it. Okay. You can just bookmark it. So it will be present here. Okay. I hope you're clear. Just downloading and installing. Okay. So along with that, you have to do Word plugin for Zotero. Okay. So Word plugin. So since I already have, it is not coming. You can just write plugin. Okay. Since my already account is present, you can just give plugin. Nothing else is gonna come up. Simple plugin will come up. You can just give plugin. Okay. And you have to enter your account. Okay. So anybody is installing it right now? Is anybody installed the software?
Ma'am, Zotero is installed, but that word plugin I'm not getting.
Word, just put Word plugin for Zotero. I log out, everything will go. You still didn't get?
No, ma'am, I'm stuck.
Did you install the Chrome connector?
Yeah, ma'am, I did. Zotero connector is there.
Okay.
Both of them are there, ma'am. Like even the software is also there. Even the connector is also there. It's just a Word plugin I'm not finding.
Okay. So just open a Word file. Maybe it has automatically come. Can you see Zotero over there? In your Word?
Checking, ma'am. Give me a moment. Yeah, it's there. It's there.
It's there, no? Okay, it is already there then. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
So what
Thank you, ma'am.
happens? Okay. Okay, so this is a setup. Okay, so you can once you open the Zotero in the system, it comes this way. Like, I can just, if I just put Zotero, so this is how it comes. Then you have to log in. Okay, so my account is already there. You can create your own account. Okay, clear. Downloading is done. Your app software is with you. Done. Everything is simple. Everything is good. Right? Okay. Now what happens in a simple way, if I have to say. So you can see, okay, a paragraph is there. Now I have to cite this. Okay. So I am taking, maybe this is from, this study on AML. So what I have to do, so this is a study. So it is on genetic abnormalities in AML. Okay, fine. So this is how it looks. When you do a PubMed search, finally, this is the page it goes to, right? Correct? Okay. Now, when you open Zotero, this is how Zotero looks like. Okay, since I have already a lot of studies I'm working on, yours, it will be blank here. All right, you can see here in a search. See, it will be very blank. Say, welcome to Zotero. This is how it comes. Okay. And mine here, there are a lot of works because I am working on a lot of things, right? So this is how it looks normally, generally, when you install it for the first time. In mine, I am working on a lot of things. So this is how it basically looks. Okay. Now, next, see, very important. Okay, now you're starting. Okay, we will simply start with a narrative review. So narrative review on, since I have already a paragraph on AML. So that is acute myeloid leukemia. So I will just write my article. See here, this particular, the icon. Okay, press that and then you get this. And then you write AML. So this is the article I am working on. Okay, okay, press OK. So this is how it goes. So I don't have any studies. So it is completely blank. So this is how it starts. So you start your article, you put up, create a folder, and then you do. Then what happens? You go on reading several articles and you feel like, okay, this is an article I want to incorporate in my review. So here, okay, like I mentioned, see, save to Zotero. Okay, so you can bookmark this. Okay, so what happens when you press this? You can see here, saving to, okay, AML. Since I have AML, that is the what studies we are going to study right now. It came like save to AML. Open down your multiple articles, okay, based on a different concept or a different, title or different study interest. So then it will vary. So you can see here, there are a lot of articles here. Okay, AI in IBD. No, I want to save it for AML, right? Okay, it is done. See, you can just write AML and done. Okay, you can just see here, it has come here. Understood? Simple, right? Any doubt here? Any doubt? Yes? Am I audible? Okay, well, so understood, no? This is how simple Zotero works. Okay, so now Zotero, now you understood how to import an article into the software, right? So this can be done in a various, process. So either you can, manually do. See, here you can see, press this icon, journal article, see the title. So you can just, title is general genetic abnormalities in AML. You can just copy, come to Zotero, paste it. Okay. Then what is the abstract? So the abstract is this. Copy, paste. Okay. Which is a very tedious work. Okay. This is a author. Copy the first author. The last author. Okay. See, it also came. Correct? Correct? Fine. So this is also you can do. Manually also you can do. Or you can enter DOIs or the PubMed IDs, the IDs. So usually each this study will have their own IDs. You can see here DOIs. You can just copy this DOI, copy that, come here and paste and press enter. So it will automatically see it's a Japanese article. So it had directly copied the article. Fine. I hope you're clear. So if at all you have to attach some URL, some link, okay, you already there are some references, okay, with that tools, okay, you can search here individually. All these things you can do. So I hope you're understood. You know how to download Zotero app and have to import articles into the software, right? You can manually do, or you can do this using the connectors, the plugins. Okay. Now this article in your word. So for the first sentence. So the first sentence ends here. So this is where I took that article. Now here in the word, how it works, add citations. Okay, so you can see here, there are various journal styles, like I mentioned previously. Each article, say American Chemical Society, their journaling style is different. British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology, theirs is different. We will usually take Vancouver. Okay, as of now. Okay, so you have to select what is the style you want. So if you are aiming for a particular journal, you can just write based on the journal, or you can just keep Vancouver for now. Okay. Okay. So when you give okay, this is how it comes. So you have to press this drop down. I hope you can see here, classic view. And then you have to select the study. So this is a correct entry what we did. So just click on it and press OK. So you can see here, 1. All right. So this is how I cited. The second. So second one. So you can just take this. Okay. Usually this is not how it works. You just read the study, you just take later on, right? Okay, the first case. So just click on this, save to Zotero. AML, first case is done. Automatically it is done. You can just see the Zotero. See the first case, correct? The next sentence, okay, add citation, Vank, correct? Okay, understood? Have to cite the article in the word. Any doubts here?
No.
Yes? Okay, well, so clear, right? What is happening here? Next, you can see.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, when we are adding the citations here, does it not directly hyperlink it?
Yes, it is linked.
Okay, it's linked. And then, like in the bottom near the references, we have to.
Yeah, I'm going to speak about it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So this is done. Citing is done, right? Okay. Next, you can see here. So once citation, so this is how you're gonna do everything. You cite to entire article, whatever you're gonna do. So next, what happens? This is what I did manually. Okay. So this is your reference, final reference. Well, okay. You have to just click add bibliography. Just press on it. So it will automatically generate. I hope I'm clear. So this is what your doubt was, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear, ma'am. Thank you.
Clear, no? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So now what happened? It is done. So in between later on, no, you thought, okay, this had one more, you had to cite some other sentences from different article, which made, which would correlate with that. So you have to just click. Okay. So save it to Zotero. Right. So that study was MNX1 and ETV6. So those are the gene. So you can see you have to put a space, add citations. Correct? Click on it. Okay. So that is 3. Okay. And you can see here in the reference, it has automatically there. Correct? Understood? Okay. I hope you're clear with this. Citation with a word and the generation of bibliography. Next.
Yes.
Yes. Any doubt?
Ma'am, what if we delete the citation? It directly gets deleted, ma'am.
Yes, if you want to delete, for example, if this third one, if I want to delete, okay, just delete it. Okay, after that, you have to refresh it. Okay, so once it is refreshed, you can see here, it's vanished.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
This is how it works. Well, now what happened? You did your article. Okay, you published in this. Okay, and then what happened? Okay, unfortunately, this article people have not, accepted your article. So you jump to the next journal to publish your article, but their document preference will be different. So they told, no, we want a Vancouver superscript. So then you have to say, remember this document preference, then it will be changes. Vancouver superscript. No, or you're planning to publish your article in American Medical Association, some big journals, or maybe Nature. Okay, Nature. Okay, then you have to click Nature and okay. See, you can see it changed according to the journal style of whatever the preference. Okay, it went to superscript, right? And here also it will be changing. Okay, so this is how it changes. Okay, so sometimes see, this is all default. It is already present. Okay, because these are some of the journals I was working on, and some are by default it is there. So if it's a new journal, then you have to go for manage styles. Okay. So get additional styles. So here you have to type whatever you want, whatever journal you want to apply. Okay, so see, you can see there are ample of journals. So you have to write your journals. Okay, right now I will just take this 2D biotech. Okay, so it will automatically come here. Then you can change according to that. Okay, this is how it works. And then, always remember after making any changes, you click on refresh so that it is updated in the system. Since it's a software, it's better you refresh each time after doing any actions. Okay, so this is about the word, how you work in a word. Okay, I hope you're clear with this. Any doubts here? You can unlink the citation as well. So I hope you're clear with all that. It's not required unlinking, and directly delete. Okay. Well, so next, let's see this software here. So what special things it has. Okay. So now you understood how to work with a word when you write an article, how to cite, how to do the bibliography, all that you have understood. Now, they have these also has some of the things. It will see what are the duplicate items. So see, when I was working, no, see what happens. Some working with the article is a long process. Okay, it doesn't happen today or tomorrow. It is a long process. Sometimes you come across one study today. After 10 days, it might feel new to you because you're constantly writing and you're constantly reading a lot of articles, right? See here, these 2 articles. So it is duplicates. So there are options to merge them as well. So sometimes it will detect all these duplicate items as well as it will merge. And sometimes it will also detect the retracted items. Okay, some journals will retract the item, so you can retract it. So they can see what are the articles you're working on, my publications, all this. Okay, this is about Zotero. I hope you're clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we will see what happens when you're working in a group. Okay, so now here, see, group libraries, if you can see, I work see here, CLIMate, systematic review and meta-analysis. So I told systematic and reviews, it's done between two individuals, okay? Two different individuals, they will be doing separately, okay? Because they should not be biased, okay? They should not be biased in, that is why it is called a systematic review. To avoid bias, two people have to do it individually, and then the third reviewer will again cross-check that. So usually when two persons have to work, okay, what you have to do is, see, your Zotero will be present. So when I press Zotero, this is what came up. This is how it will come up for you as well. So create an account, okay. Then this is how your home page looks like, correct? Then there is something called as groups, okay. Then you can create groups. You can create a group, okay. Choose the name. So you can choose anybody. Name for the, you can choose a name for the group. For example, AML. Now right now I will just put AML, okay. Then choose for public. No, you have to choose private, because this is how you work, right? Private group, okay. Private group, anyone on the internet, no, any from the member, right? Save settings. So you create any group members because you want to work together. So now members, okay. So I am the owner, right now. uh, One systematic review, so I and say Ajit sir, we are working together. So now I have to send invitations. So I have to write the, the mail ID, okay, of Ajit sir. Then I have to invite him, okay. So the link goes to him, okay. Then he will also have an access, okay. So now what happens, he will save some studies. So just give me a time. See, I put AML, no? See, automatically it came. Sometimes it takes time to refresh. See, you can see here, automatically this has popped up, right? Now what happened, I have to invite members. So I can invite whoever I want. I can prepare a group or this particular narrative review. You can work along with your colleagues or with your juniors, seniors, or you and your guides are working. So you can invite them. So once you send the invite, it will go to them, okay? So this is how it works. So you can see groups. In the groups, you can see members. Now only I am there because I have created it. So when they accept, they will also come. So when they add the studies, so articles will also come in the AML. Various articles will come here. So you can work together. Okay, your reference management will be same. I hope you're clear. You can also export, import the, you can also import. You can also export the libraries, okay? So usually in Mendeley, see, Mendeley is also a similar kind of software, but export, import, and all, there is certain problems. It is quite difficult compared to Zotero, but Zotero is very simple to handle. I hope you're clear with the software. You can just ask if you guys have any kind of doubts. Any doubts?
Yes, guys, ask your questions.
So the thing is, my electricity is going on and off, so I couldn't follow properly. So I'll just watch it over the video. That is what's going on. So if I have to ask her again, it'll be another thing. No, that's why.
Can we use this without downloading? Yes, actually, some you can use online. This app. You can basically create your account. Then you can just, handle it.
Okay, guys.
So,
So thank you
yeah.
very much, Pooja. Thank you, everyone, for this wonderful, wonderful workshop. Today is the end of this workshop, and it went really well, amazing. I'll share the feedback form in the group, and then we can give the certificate by tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for joining this. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Pooja. Take
Thank you,
care.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I hope I'm, clear with the concept.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, Pooja. Thank you.